Welcome to episode number 58 of the Friday Fizz. Today we talk about Twitter update, Instagram having an update, we talk about social media problems with millennials, and we also talk about when you should start your own business. Sadly, it seems like we've got to say something every single week at the minute in terms of tragedies, and obviously the UK has been taken back again with another tragedy in London, and it's horrific, isn't it? To think that, I mean, let's not even get into the why and how it happened, but just the fact that it did happen, and
particularly in London. Yeah. Like, you look at it in this country, it shouldn't happen anywhere, but in this country something like that is awful. So
it is.
Yeah, to be able to, well, particularly with what's happened recently, it seems even worse.
And you know, and I don't know about you, but I think most people feel this, just massive empathy for the people who were trapped in that building and going through absolute hell. You know, hopefully a large majority managed to get out, but you know, inevitably some of them didn't, and you know, I just can't even imagine the fear that they were feeling and things like that, and the fear that their families were feeling on the outside.
And still now, like, it's just the uncertainty, isn't it? That's the worst thing. So I think obviously anything that people can do is got to be a good thing. I mean, again, you don't want to make light of it, but straight away Jamie Oliver was offering free meals and like come to the restaurant around the corner and we'll put you up for the day. Adele was there last night greeting people. Raheem Sterling's offering to donate loads of money. Simon Cowell's doing a charity single. So there's loads of good stuff. You know, people can show, again, it's the good faith that people show afterwards that kind of brings the positivity to it, but it's still obviously a tragedy.
One thing that we talk, you know, we talk about a country divided about a lot of the things that, you know, the key decisions we've had to make recently with Brexit and the general election, and we have got a divided country in the opinion, but one thing that just gives me a lot of heart is actually the communities that come together. And it just reminds you that actually just because we have different views on how things are, it doesn't mean that our empathy's gone for everybody. And, you know, I think the community's pulled together once again, and, you know, hats off to everybody who's chipped in on that one. You know, and it gives you some strength in periods of devastation, doesn't it? You know, to see that sort of pulling together. So what else has been going on? Twitter have updated. Twitter, has anybody seen this yet? Comment on your opinions. Comment, because the comments are down there. Comment on your opinions on the new Twitter layout. What do you think?
Yeah, I got the update last night. It's okay. When I went on Twitter, I didn't see it had updated. I was like, what the hell's this? Like, I've been hacked. But I mean, it looks fresh. I suppose change can be nice, just to freshen it up a bit, and so it doesn't just look too standard.
Yeah, I think that's the key, though, isn't it? Well, yeah, that's the key, isn't it? It's freshened it up a bit, but it still hasn't tackled their major issues at the minute in terms of, you know, reducing numbers and less interactivity. And
like everyone said, I think
are you right there?
Cut myself on something.
You didn't cut yourself on anything, Sam. You fucking drama queen.
Sliced me open on the table. And everyone was just complaining, like, what the hell is this? Where's the edit button? All we want is an edit button. Stop giving us these pointless updates and just give us an edit button for our tweets. That's all anyone wants. All anyone asks for. Twitter just seemed to ignore it. Like, I've not seen it even addressed. Never mind.
They've made a decision not to do it. Like, they just don't want to do it for whatever reason. So anyway, fair play to them for doing an update on the look. They've probably been working on it for 3 years. Them circles have gone out of fashion now, haven't they?
I mean, it was on Android. Some of the changes they've made now to the iOS app on Android last year.
Really?
So it's only now that they've launched them on iOS as well. So weird. But let us know what you think. And
tell us. But, you know, they're still battling on, aren't they? Oh, hang on, can I just interrupt here? One thing that I've had at least 3 messages off people who have said that Chris should be a regular because they were more impressed with Chris than they were Sam. So anyway, if you think that Chris is better than Sam, let us know down below. So Instagram, what's happening?
Yeah, it's only a simple thing, but where people normally, like influencers, are getting paid to promote products, normally they have to put a hashtag or something like sponsored or ad. Now Instagram have allowed you to, it's effectively a feature, where you can just tick a box, put in the company that sponsoring you to promote it, and it'll show up normally where your location shows up.
I like it. Yeah,
so it'll say like paid advertising by +24 marketing.
Awesome.
So then when everyone's promoting our stuff, we can make it obvious.
Fantastic. Brilliant solution to something that frustrated me.
And it was an issue, like people complained about it, people were concerned about the morals of advertising. So it just makes it nice and clear.
It does. You'll still get influencers who try and not make out like it's an ad though, and that's a problem. I do think.
And there'll be companies that kind of ask you to, just do it subtly or something.
But the best way to do it is, I don't understand, like, for example, Casey Neistat, all DJI are obviously his biggest fan, or he's their biggest fan, and vice versa, because they just send him all the new stuff that they're doing. Yeah. Like, they just put it in post and say, just have a review.
That's the DJI Spark. Look how tiny it is. Look how tiny it is. Also, check out
but they're that confident about the product that he's going to give it a positive review. Yeah. And that's the thing. I think, as a company, you've got to think differently about social media marketing. You can't just pay somebody to give you a good review, because if your product shit, it'll clearly be a lie, and then it'll give you bad press. So be so confident with your product that you can give it away for free and know that you'll get good vibes from it. So that brings us on to something else, social media, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's all very social themed.
I don't know what this millennials Silver Surfers is.
So there's a couple of reports released this week, completely different tones, but one of them was basically saying how millennials or social media is ruining the life for millennials. Right. Young people on social media, it's a negative impact on their life. Comparing themselves to friends, putting themselves down when they don't get enough likes, all these kind of things, reading negative stories, all the stuff that you see on social media that could be negative seems to have a big impact on millennials and young people. My feeling is, though, that this happened way before social media.
This was society and commercialism, whereby you've got front page of women's magazines, and you've got women with seemingly perfect bodies that have been airbrushed the out of. Yeah. This has been happening for a long time.
It's just now it's such a big scale, isn't it?
But I think the problem is now that the girl next door can look insane and perfect and everything with one Instagram filter. So it's so easy. Yeah. And then but there's this other issue in that a girl who's next door to this girl does exactly the same on Instagram and looks equally insane, but she doesn't have that vision of herself. Yeah. And I think this is where our problem lies, is that we're not, like, as a society, we're not confident. I look in the mirror and I think, me, mate, you are fit.
Superman, come on! Take after that new haircut.
Yeah, no, Simon Townley revolutionised my life. I went home, I didn't recognise myself.
How many times have I told you this? A haircut every 3 weeks, that's all you need. You mocked me for it.
But I wouldn't look any different if I did that. And the thing is, I had crazy massive hair. If you look at last week's, I had crazy massive hair out here. And then I've gone from that to like a really nice, neat haircut. Yeah. It's a big difference. What's the point doing it every 3 weeks?
Because then you never look a mess. Like, you just look consistent.
He said I looked a mess last week. I love what he's done with like the piano and the mirror and stuff like that. Go check him out. He's on Instagram, does a good job on Instagram when he can be asked. So, so thanks to Simon Townley for my haircut. This is not a paid ad, but it should be. Anyway, Silver Surfers, what's this all about?
The flip side of that is that there's now the largest number of Silver Surfers on social media.
Yeah, I always for many years it's been one of the fastest growing demographics, hasn't it? Yeah. Silver Surfers. So what are they now? Are they now the biggest group?
No,
or just it's bigger than they've ever been.
The largest number ever
active.
From this report that Ofcom did, 9 in 10 pensioners are now on Facebook. Yeah, 9 in 10.
That's amazing. But I think it's a really good thing, because one thing that we know is another problem in society is the fact that loneliness of old people. And and particularly in today's world where it is so busy, and it is, I'm not using this as an excuse because you need to get around it, but it's hard to make time for certain things that you should do, but perhaps you don't. Yeah. Like visiting your grandparents and going to see family and and all this, and it is so important to make time for that, but it is very difficult. And so if Silver Surfers can connect with us in that way, then I can only see that as a positive. So I think it's great that Silver Surfers are on there. They've also, interestingly, they've got the biggest, obviously they've got the most to spend, so for advertisers, there you go. Yeah. Earlier this week, if you do follow me on social media, you might have noticed a couple of posts go out. I went to Thomas Whittam sixth form earlier in the week to do a talk. And it was to a bunch of business and law students who they didn't really look interested, to be honest, when I first got in there. And then I said a few swear words, and that pricked their ears up a little bit. And so I did a bit of a talk to them about business and my life, and gave a few sort of pointers on where I see they need to focus their life. And it were fantastic. They were so engaged. There was like a handful, 4 or 5 students who just kept asking question after question after question, because they were genuinely interested in this whole business thing. But one question that came up, and what we want to do is we want to start getting a business question in every week. So like, anything you're struggling with, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so basically, one of the questions was, there was loads, but one of the questions was, how do I start in business? Like, if I wanted to start tomorrow, what would I do? And we're going to do a video on it. So we're not going to give everything away now, but we'll do a dedicated video on it. And hopefully this kid will see it and things like that. But the reality is, firstly, it's never going to be a perfect time to start. Like, never going to be a perfect time. So stop thinking about stop saying, oh, well, I'll just do it when this happens, or I'll just do it when that happens, or I'll just do it when I've saved this much. Because there's always another excuse. So just start. Like, the first thing is start. Get a piece of paper and say, right, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it today. Yeah. Like, pick up your phone. You've all got mobile phones. Pick up your phone and ring somebody who you can offer your service to. Start with friends and family, because that's where it always starts best, because you'll get a little bit of leniency. You'll get a bit of help there. You can get a bit of experience working for them, and then you can start getting a bit of word of mouth out there. So literally just start. You don't need to spend anything. You can get free business cards even. Yeah. Like, go on Vistaprint. I hate that place. I despise it. But if you ain't got any money, get some free business cards.
Yeah, just scrounge for everything you can. Yeah. Get the free samples of everything and just make the most of it.
So just start. That's my top tip for that question. We'll do a more in-depth video over the next week or two, and we'll publish that. But seriously, great question, because so many people do it. Thanks for watching Friday Fizz. Don't forget to like, comment and share, and please send us in some questions about business for next week. We want to answer your questions. If you're struggling with something, or if you're not, or you just want to talk about something in particular, go for it.
I went to Scotland. You go somewhere nice for that.
Ellie, that's what he thinks of your holiday. He didn't go somewhere nice. I saw some of the pictures.
It was very nice. I just mean you could go somewhere like fancy, like Italy.